We kind of see that there is a difference in risk when it comes to these two teams and what their agent selects look like. But it seems that Supermassive Blaze have just a little bit more to lose.
Yeah, Supermassive Blaze, it's really important for them to take this map. It's obviously their map pick, so we're looking for them to do a little bit better. As Rebels this time going to be starting off on the defense. SMB not quite as aggressive, just trying to bait Rebels into taking a fight, maybe get a little bit of information, but Rebels playing the long game, not really revealing their positioning. In fact, even dropping a Nebula so that SMB can't walk into lobby. They're expecting someone to try and push them into garden through the smoke, and that's burning off time. And already baiting out the Recon Bolt to check the angle, and there's no one there.
Yeah, they've spent so much for just so little. At least they know it's clear and they can take over the space. And now, even though Rebels kind of had that dedication towards this left side of the map, and now they've got time to kind of reconfigure their forces towards A. And now with the Owl drone, all the dark covers being thrown, okay, it seems that Rebels are very happy to hand this over. The spike will go down, and it will have to be a 5 versus 5 retake.
I mean, they should be able to get through tunnel relatively easily. They do still have the fault line to brute force their way through. So even if SMB try and set up that crossfire, it can be broken, especially if Johnny is able to peek out from heaven at the right time.
Johnny dashes in. Oh, does get one, but quickly falls after that. They look to enter now with the flashpoints being used right now, but Supermassive Blaze have got the numbers. They've got the lineups. They're just peeking in and out of battle. And it will be able to get themselves the first blood in this one. A very much needed round to get things started on the right foot.
Confidence too. That's such a key element in these matchups, right, for Supermassive Blaze, when they do have so much to prove, when we do constantly, when we mention this team, talk about the fact that they have not been able to pick up a win. They're looking for that confidence, they're looking for that momentum, and they are going to go for that force. 2 rifles going to be coming out from them. Vandal for Izzy, Phantom for Brave, just trying to find the picks, hammer home the fact that they're able to take this round. So Rebels Gaming going on the full eco. No Nebula this time, but again, a very early recon bolt, and look at how passive, how hesitant SMB are to make a single move, because they know if Rebels losing the pistol, chances have exponentially increased, that they're just hiding around these corners with a shotgun waiting to back a bullet into your skull.
Yeah. They've kind of switched positions here. Rebels are just moving as a glorified unit here. Just Deathball comp. Is this the old game that we used to cast, Moxie? Oh, maybe. Let's see. Okay, yeah, it's going to be a simple one. Rebels, obviously, they'll get spotted. There's obviously a alarm bot right at the entry there, so we don't really expect much out of this one with a Supermassive Blade to reconfigure. But I don't know, we heard the analysts just kind of go through the comps here, and but what do you fancy the most when it comes to Haven here with all the different adaptations we've been seeing?
So I think Omen is definitely strongest when it comes to utility-wise. They touched on the desk, the fact that Astra can't just spam for eternity. That utility now that it does have the cooldown, and the real punishing thing as well is you can't go for the double smoke play. It has a lot more punishment. For the Omen, yeah, okay, you use double dark covers, like you're gonna get a lot of smoke presence. For the Astra, now that you do have that 25-second cooldown per smoke, it's a little bit more punishing to go for that double obscure angle, but there's what we expected to see happen. SMB coming out on top. Rebels do manage to find a pick onto the Sova side. Are left a little bit alone against the tide that is an aggressive Rebels gaming team. But I mean, I said I prefer the Omen. What do you like to see? Were you happy to see the patch note come through?
Oh, very happy. I'm an Omen main, so yes, very, very happy. Yeah. You know, I've been getting some advice from the Excel boys as well. Jumpy telling me some seeky things that you can do with the Omen, and I'm just enjoying it. And I'm trying to make my way back into plat, because I've been gold forever now at this point.
See, I'm just that petty person who loves to see the Omen ult just used when you can just grab the spike and go to an entirely barren site. It's my absolute favorite play in all of Valorant.
Yeah, there's some sort of an art to Omen play, for sure. But let's have a look.
Shenanigans.
Yeah, shenanigans. Exactly. Let's see how this one works out, though, as SMB look to gain some early space towards Garage. They've actually gained it. Rebels allow them to cross through, but they've picked up the pace when it comes to the site control. Johnny holding back will deliver the kills onto 2, but Izzy wants a piece out of that. Vukashu comes to fight here, but Cider is the only player remaining. Does find one, maybe a rifle to be collected for him, but he's in a very difficult spot. It's a one-on-one, the spike still. Vukashu going all the way around? Well, that's an interesting one. That can definitely catch Cider off guard.
Oh, he's not expecting
There's
it.
no way he knows. There's no way. But he's even going in from B? And that's good timing as well, because Cider looked at mid for a second there.
This is all falling into Fakashi's favor. Cider is expecting to be pushed for connector.
Oh, dear.
And if Fakashi just drops down from window, but no, he's going to move for Link instead.
He could have just simply moved into spawn, and that would have made things simpler. But yeah, we'll catch Cider off guard either way. And Rebels get themselves a first in the game.
We said squeaky bum time.
We did.
It's definitely squeaky bum time. Because, so many times Cider was so close to catching Fakashi, and Fakashi so close to catching Cider. But that round was an important one for Rebels. They had full board into it. They can now afford to go back for the rifles. It was costly for them though, so it's not the full buy coming out. 2 SMGs going to be coming for Spectres, for Lynxie and Gatch. Supermassive Blaze. Going to be, again, just charging at this very early utility. Fault line cuts right through. Does mean that Yanni can't do anything. Clydeworth able to keep their escape clean and just to move on fight too.
Johnny, if you're able to do that, why not? Get caught out in the open more often, mate. That shouldn't have gone the way it did, but it's just Johnny able to pull through. And now the A site's been opened up. There is a crossfire here. Izzy opens it up further. Now we're down to equal numbers across the board. Johnny's just waiting for this approach. Oh, finds a head but gets phantomed. Won't be able to find the finishing blow in that instance, but Gatch is the only player to remain. A 1-on-2 with Supermassive Blaze taking control over the site. Now that's what this Turkish lineup wants. Gain that confidence, get these rounds, build that difference, and it seems they'll be able to do it this time around because Gatch, he's not going for this one.
Yeah, just looking for exit for it. I mean, if you can find a rifle, stars are being placed.
Yeah, I got baited.
Gatch is going to be trying to make a move.
Wanted to move out away from the Aldron initially, but still wants to go for this. One-way smoke towards one end, but do check Hell and time. He does, and he was able to find the first kill. 17 bullets, spike out into the open. How do you hold this? Up until half, peeks away, Gatch shows his ground. The kill has been found! And no way he finds a defuse as well. Gatch, what a retake, a 1-on-2 extravaganza, and puts Rebels at an equal point with their opponents.
What a nebula! Sister is right in the middle of the Astra smoke and can't move a step forward because you have no clue where the Astra is, and the Astra's gonna have all of the information on where you are. And in the time it takes for you to reorientate yourself, Gatch, despite coming in on a weaker buy in SMG against a rifle, would have found the pick regardless. All you could do is wait for that nebula to disapitate, hope. If you don't try and press for that first half of a stick that they think, okay, maybe you're a little bit further away, and then you go for the punishment. As SMB just let that round fall completely through their fingers.
That's the... I couldn't have said it better, Moxie. It just felt like it just slipped away. And now they're desperate for more. They're going very aggressive. Somehow Izzy finds a head, but quickly traded back. Paranoia to the back end. But how do you find this? Aftershock also delaying it. Shock darts doing their work. Rebels seem to have seized control here. No, but Zistu won't be able to do much. This all started with Sheriff. Some damage has been found, but more than that, I don't think they'll be able to do it, you know? Maybe a kill. Out into the open. Musashi, easiest pre-fire of his life. Rebels with 3. They find themselves on top.
Yeah, Cider was really hoping to get a kill. 1 orb away from the Hunter's Fury. You'll have it in this round at least. So you can try and force Rebels Gaming away from these positions, brute force your way, especially with the way that they're eyeing C long. If you just open up with that Hunter's Fury, it does mean that you do not have to worry about that pushback coming through. The fact that you don't have to invest all of the smokes to be able to survive the couple meters sprint from that angle onto the site, but you do have to worry about the Killjoy utility because that's the gauntlet. Little bit diced away in Garage, but that Nano Swarm right at the exit is going to be such a pain for them to deal with, and it's doubled up, accompanied by 2 Astra Stars, which activate as soon as that drone passes.
Yeah, that's not fun for Gatch. Oh, reconned, fault lines, out into the open. Yeah, that will be his downfall, and the site will be quickly taken over by the attacking side. Supermassive Blaze putting the spike in the open. So it's perfectly now set up for a post bump for them.
perfectly set up for a lockdown from Vukashi. Hunter's been used.
Maybe from the shadows to use that information early on. Dink away from Musashi, not quite the closer. But Gianni may want to move in.
Ooh, they know Musashi's there.
Oh, Musashi. Swingaroo. Oh, imagine if he would have got them both there. Only gets one and quickly trade it back. Still, Supermassive plays with control, still with the numbers, and they'll be able to hold on for longer. Linksy with another kill. Wants to triple it up. Vukashu here to help up, but they need to commit to the stick. They need to get themselves a diffuser. They don't have much time. Going for the spray down. The human shield will not be working out for them this endeavor. Supermassive plays, get themselves around and equalize the scoreline.
Yeah, Rebels start clawing it back really nicely. The fact that Musashi finds that pick on C-Long, that should not have happened. It almost was a 2k2 with the way that SMB lined up. You're gonna see it right now as Cyber just peeks out. He's able to find one, able to find two. As Rebels knew, they just did not have enough time to clear Cubby. They had to hope if they just went for the bullet-soaked shield approach, they'd be able to stick it in time. SMB equalize 3-3 and start finding that mentality, that confidence to move forward. As again, very early utility coming right through. Just check an angle that Rebels have seen. Okay, they're going to put utility down a long. We're just not going to be that.
Okay, spray down. That's a spike. Musashi also finds a kill with that Hunter's Fury. Now this opens things up for Rebels. Brave. Aggression though will be shown for him. Gets one kill, but quickly killed himself. Spike can be recollected here for Supermassive plays. Can be now brought into their arsenal once again. But the damage has already been done, right? Rebels can just stay composed.
Yeah, this is going to be really hard for SMB to try and push into this. Yes, they've got the spike. Yes, they've currently got sewers. But Rebels have just pulled back. They're more than happy to wait for you to expose yourself. Izzy's just going to have to try and dash onto the site, create a little bit of noise. It's this dude who starts moving forward and making a little bit of noise and trying to cut Rebels off as they come through tunnel.
Lockdown.
Even going to invest a lockdown in it.
Yeah, it's guaranteed they can get the spike down safely. Maybe even use this off angle to play around the defense spawn side. They're going for a push. They know they need to go for a high impact play out into the open. Has to draw back to get another. Overwhelmed by the numbers. Izzy, a 1-on-4. An astronomical performance needs to be laid out by this man. What can you do? Slowly approaching everyone from the same angle, but Musashi has already crossed over, finds a head, and as simply as that, Rebels get themselves back the lead.
Yeah, it's a nice lockdown, the idea of it, right? You get the space, you push Rebels all the way back. The fact that you actually follow through with the aggression, so you get the information on how far Rebels have fallen away. You know that you don't have to worry about someone potentially backstabbing, lurking their way, and flanking all the way through ramps. Which is why we do see Izzy just pull back behind Crate, has to know that they're all going to be coming out from that same angle of tunnel. Unfortunately, isn't able to use that information to turn it into a round pick. This Supermassive play is going to be on the back foot in terms of that economy. Have to use this round to reset.
A reset round once again. Supermassive plays a little bit too familiar with these due to Icebox. But let's roll it back again, right? For anybody that has just joined, I remind you, Supermassive plays, this is their own map pick. They're a map down and they're in the losers bracket, which means a loss in this match means that they're out not only from VCT promotion, but VCT entirely.
You want to talk about out entirely? Rebels are almost out entirely off this A site. They know that that Rolling Thunder is potentially going to be used to clear it, but you don't have the Jet, you don't have your Omen, and Musashi still has control of Heaven!
You're never truly out if Musashi's nearby. Holds it down, okay, well, they've gotten the spike planted. That's some extra creds in their pocket out into the open, but it's just too messy. Linksy also on the side being a menace. Musashi triples up his own kill feed this particular round, and Rebels will start to increase that lead. Now, just 2.
Okay, the difference this time, though, is SMB, they throw the utility down A long, and they actually do book it through A sewers. So they are adapting to how Rebels like to hold, like to default onto this A side. The problem is that Rebels read the room. They're like, okay, you've got a Rolling Thunder. We're just not going to be caught out by that when you try and throw it over the site and catch it out with us. And Musashi just pushed one by one. Like, Izzy tries to take a little bit of space, and then the Omen's not close enough to go for the trade. And there's a reason that Dex pointed out this Sova, why you do have to be so careful, so strong on that Chamberlain is just still an absolute nightmare for Supermassive Blaze to deal with. As again, really early utility thrown along, and again, Rebels knows just stand a little bit further away and get all of the utility that SMB should be using to push onto a site for free at the start of the round when Spike hasn't moved an inch.
Rebels might be getting free lunch here. They're looking to move in where they are most inhabiting.
This is new.
Oh.
Rebels actually going for garage control. SMB do know that there's players around doors, but do you have the utility? Oh, you know what, Papas? If only you had a rolling thunder. Or, you know, a fault line to just bulldoze your way through.
That would have made things easier.
Well, fault line's going to be up. Rolling thunder's still there. But SMB are just so hesitant. They know how valuable it can be and they don't want to invest it to find naught.
Oh, fault line to be used here. Gatch to the far end will try and peek out. Doesn't get a kill. Instead, Izzy will be shutting him down. But where do they move this advantage? Should they carry on forwards? It seems like they will. Lukaku goes in for the swing. Roll time flash, but it's still not good enough. The Rolling Thunder now is available for them. They'll utilize it onto the side, but Brave has already found himself into it. Paranoia to the backside. It's not enough. Janny still unscathed. Will be able to find himself the kills. Janny lines it up still. A 2-on-2. 20 seconds, and Zistu is all that remains. Janny has found a triple. With 4 bullets, it's near impossible. Won't be able to find it. Janny with a quadra kill this round shows why Rebels should make it into VCT and why they should continue their lower bracket run.
That was a beautiful Nano Swarm. Right at the entrance to doors. And Supermassive Blaze, they used the fault line. You can see that they want to get aggressive off of the fault line. And they can't move a foot forward. So again, all of that utility invested to try and barge past the space, and Rebels Gaming with literally 1 cooldown. Slow things up. Force Supermassive Blaze to take fights and lose players so that when the spike does go down, there isn't really a fight you can put up through.
Well, this time around, if they go for garage control, there's not too much presence. There's just the turret that will just say hi. And we'll shoot a few bullets. Still not taking it down. Drawing out the pistols to make sure of that, but okay. Well, a gravity wall is used early here to make sure that they don't peek out or even entertain the idea of pushing through themselves. But Lynxie's got the right idea here. No. It's just a matter of being pre-fired, right? It's a crossfire, so at least it will be a trade, right? Lynxie with a further angle swings by. Okay, their greatest chance of getting an advantage this round has just been shut down. Brave also very aggressive with the position he's holding. For Rebels, they're comfortable. Play it safe, no reason to play aggressive here. A little bit messy there, but Vikashu cleans it up. Zistu looks to push through here. Fault line, not really catching out anyone. Flashpoint still available out into the open. Vikashu will just press Mouse 1 and take them all down. Cider X has to hide away, and he won't have anywhere to do that because Musashu has got him in his sights, and Rebels get themselves a 7th.
I mean, it's slightly further away from doors, but it's the same issue that SMB struggle with, right? Izzy is spotted. Rebels Gaming know exactly where that jet is. And it's the hesitation. It's the fact of, okay, I've got the knives, but there's so much responsibility on my shoulders. I have to dash onto the side. I have to open up the space for the rest of the team to move through. But I can't just fall the second that I actually move through, because then all of our planning just falls right through the floor. And that hesitation, that coin flip of Izzy wanting to go aggressive and then second guessing is all that is needed to put that final nail in the Jet's coffin. Is SMB going to be taking a timeout? And this one, honestly, is needed. Because this team, their tempo, their timing, it's falling apart.
Oh, yeah, those are my feelings right there. That teddy bear just depicts it clearly. It's just like, what's going on here? Well, yeah, no, Rebels, they're destroying. That's what's going on here. I mean, we've seen performances from Izzy. We've seen kind of SMB come alive at the first stages of this game. But ever since, even if they do find advantages, Rebels usually have the funds and utility and everything required to kind of get those retakes going on as well. So it's looking bleak for SMB, and I think this is a desperate attempt for them to break the momentum of Rebels also.
This is the same problem that we've had when we see SMB time and time again when they were in VCT as well. They do the exact same thing. And Rebels, they're constantly innovating, they're constantly changing their positions. But SMB twice in a row push up garage. This time they're back to throwing the utility to A long. And now you don't really have anything to try and oust Rebels and Sewers as the Hunter's Fury just forces Izzy into a corner. How is that Jet still alive?
Well, the paranoia at least forces the rest back, so they are able to guarantee their teammates' life. But to what cost?
Is 12 HP really living?
Yeah, I mean, as long as Izzy can shoot his gun and find heads, yeah, I think it is.
Might just be the sacrificial lamb that SMB for once on one of these sites.
Yeah.
So that Rebel turns around and tries to shoot him. As it is lining up to be that A-site push, but again, this hesitation has allowed Rebels all of the time to set up such a punishing crossfire. Fault line's back online for Lynxie, and the second you start to move forward, that breach is going to be there. And Gianni can just springboard off of the utility to find the pick.
Yeah, they're gone for the push though. Flashpoint here from Lynxie. Aftershock as well, maybe delay them, but the Hunter's Fury is coming in for an attacking approach. Brave will be finding one Hunter's Fury, eventually getting one onto Gianni there, but Masashi ends up falling. It means that Rebels now are at a disadvantage. Lynxie, can you hold it down? Getting both kills there will be shutting it down in its tracks, but the Cosmic Divide has come in, which means they're eager to go for the retake quickly enough. The Spike hasn't even gone down just yet. Lockdown available on both sides, looking to move out of it. Oh, okay, well that's useful. Gets himself to the other side of the map, using from the shadows, but he's stunned up, which means he might not have time to get the spike down. He won't have time to get the spike down. Oh, it's so close. It's so close, but I don't think he's got the time. Oh, he does. Barely. Milliseconds, and they get the kill as well. It's all down to Vukashu if they want to extend this advantage at the halftime. Vukashu swinging out of the smoke, but Brave has got the right idea. SMB by milliseconds win that round.
Last round
Oh,
the switch.
thank goodness they had the Omen ult. Thank goodness they had Brave firing on all cylinders. This is a player that we talked about on desk, right? That when I was watching back Supermassive Blaze's plays, I was like, okay, Brave can do really well if he's got the space to operate with. And now that Supermassive Blaze were able to grab that space and turn it against Rebels Gaming, Brave is able to do really good things. Gets the spike down, is able to use the dark cover. Vukashu has no clue where the Omen is playing. Brave's able to win out the fight. But here's the op coming through. And, well, Yanni's not going to be able to find much in sewers other than a corpse.
Yeah, that's not too bad though for Supermassive Blaze, right? Get this 5th round in the bag. Definitely have an easier time of coming back, really, on this defensive side. Masashi, though, may be in trouble. No, not if Lynxie is there to hold his back. But look at this push. Slightly too greedy. Flashed out, but Masashi still as composed as ever. Will end up falling as Vukashu has to hold on to his own life because now he's up against 2. And a 1-on-2, that last round did not go in his way.
Spike planted.
Now, the good thing for Rebels at the moment, though, is that it's last round and a half. There is nothing to stop you for trying to go for this play. You don't have to worry about saving the rifle. That's why we saw such an expensive buy coming up from Rebels, the operator, that they picked up into.
Very passive from Supermassive Blaze, and the spike is perfectly planted for them. Oh, Vukashu is going to have such a harsh time here.
You're just going to get fault lined.
He does have an alarm bot they can use maybe as a shield. We'll do just that. Opening it up. Peeking through. No, they're taking their time. Fault line. Ooh, that could have gotten dangerous if the spray connected with a head, but no. Nicely recovered there by SMB. At least they keep the scoreline close at halftime.
Yeah, if they win pistols, they can equalize easily. And you know, we talk about how you can find momentum on Valorant. A lot of that comes down to what side you're playing on. The defense finds it so much easier to pick up that momentum if they're able to put on a strong showing of pistols, especially on Haven. Other than Icebox, I think this is the most punishing map where you can just force up onto that Marshall. If you win pistols, it's absolutely devastating.
Is this 2020? No, 2021.
Are we back in the frenzy
meta? Are we
meta?
back in the frenzy meta?
The run and gun where everyone just buys frenzies and you shoot and you keep running.
The thing is,
And it feels like there's just magnets attached to everyone's skulls.
when it was meta, I never played it, but now that it's not, I do.
You just like to be a contrarian, don't you?
Yeah, I do. It's part of my genes. Let's see. Rebels looking to aggress here very early. B control given over, then actually looking to cross over to A. If they gain a kill here, that is more than doable, but no, they commit to the spike plant to the right side corner.
Spike
And
planted.
Izzy behind the Nebula will have to respect Gianni's position, waiting for reinforcements. They've also got mid control. look how far Vukashu is holding out. And he'll be the caveat in the mix, right? He's going to have all the impact in the world. They have no idea where he's coming from, is he, though? Has to win out this trade. Musashi will be able to trade back to it. Vukashu doesn't end up getting a single kill here. Lynxy on the close angle. Crossfire positionings for the Rebel side. They've been able to do what is required so far, but Siderex hasn't had enough of it yet. Flash will deter them for a little bit longer, but they still need to push through. They're running out of time. Zistu with one, meaning that there's only one left. Musashi will get shut down. Bullet to the head. And SMB get themselves a pistol. Exactly what they needed to close up that gap.
Ooh, Vukashu could have been the cat amongst the pigeons. In that mid. That SMB able to deal with the killjoy before it becomes the undoing. We talked about it, right? This is doable. They can close up that distance if they're able to win pistols. And again, it's the investment. We have to win the round. We have to equalize. Out comes the Vandal for Izzy. And so much responsibility falls onto that Jet's shoulders. You have to make this rifle work. You have to come in for the kills that your team are looking for you to set up. And Rebels are going to be on the opposite side of the map to where the Jet's playing.
I've seen Supermassive Blaze win these rounds. Let's see if that happens again. They've actually delayed them, which means there's only one player in sight. So if they can isolate him, potentially there's a chance for them to come back from no. Janny somehow stays alive throughout that chaos, right? Cloudburst keeps him away from the bullets. And yeah, no, this is there's a simple take we kind of expected, but still Rebels, that the force buys actually worked out for them very, very nicely.
They've got knowledge of where Izzy's coming through as well. They can hear the rifle going off, so they do know the Vandal's going to be in this fray. Brave's creating a little bit of noise, trying to draw that attention so that Izzy can get in close, has to dash out. This looks like it's just going to be a save coming through from SMB.
Yeah.
As they know, they invested heavily in that round themselves. They bought a rifle. They wanted those picks. And Rebels are looking to deny them taking a flawless.
We've seen how strong Rebels are on the attacking side in the Icebox, and that seems we'll be seeing that yet again here in Haven. And they won't take long before punching at their opponents, right? They've taken the first when it comes to the weapon rounds. And yeah, the 8th is there. It's not really allowing SMB to find that equalizer.
Oh no. Oh, can Izzy keep the rifle? Oh, that was a close one. But Supermassive Blaze able to keep Izzy alive. Vandal's still going to be in the hands of that Jet. But this is where it's going to cost them when you look at the economy. They really forced into that round. They wanted those picks. They wanted the kills. They wanted to cripple Rebels' momentum so that they don't get the confidence and just string round after round in a row like we saw on Icebox. And that gamble, it was unfortunately snake eyes for this team.
Rebels actually amping up the pressure here. Of course, it's not going to be the greatest of weaponry here for SMB, but Izzy needs to be at the right place at the right time if they want to stand the chance. Crossing through, Flash as well. There you go. Janik will be getting the first kill, but quickly traded back. Glove stands his ground for just a little bit, but the Spectres simply overwhelm. Izzy is close by. Shock Dart looks to dash away from it, but Vukashu is there to retrieve him. Zistu now at a very familiar point will have to back away, maybe to find a weapon or two, but with that shorty, you're not going very far, mate.
Yeah, Rebels just getting super aggressive onto those sites with the breach utility, which is so different to how we saw SMB playing it, right? As soon as the rounds opened up, we immediately just saw the sort of panic, just the mere paranoia of maybe they're walking at us from a long fault line thrown on through. As Rebels are a lot more patient and hold their utility until they can actually use it to brute force their way into the site. And then it's not just the Jet moving forward off of it, it's the entire team. So if one person gets flashed out, like we saw Cider, the punishment is immediate. As Zistu is just trying to hold this angle, thinks about maybe finding a peek. Alarmbot's immediately going to be giving away that position, and there's the shots.
Yeah.
Fukashi picks up their mirror, and SMB finds nothing. No exit frag, no round, no economy reset like they were hoping for.
It's as simple as that, really. And, you know, Moxie, I'm trying to find my words here, because essentially this is where SMB was supposedly going to get themselves a map in this series, right? This is basically their only hope. And ever since Rebels kind of find themselves in this attacking position, obviously it hasn't been too many rounds. But still, they look very, very determined, very, very comfortable. It hasn't really looked like their opponents, Supermassive Blaze, were able to get them out of that comfort zone yet. So now that they've got a buy round coming up, what do you think we should expect from it, really? Because, as you said, lack of changing things up here. So maybe do we expect some change to come through from them?
Well, what I want to really see from them is wholly playing the retake. Because Rebels Gaming, like, we see, if one person is on the site, they get swarmed. It happened to poor Cider on the A side. You were just fault lined and flashed, and you were dead in seconds. Because Supermassive Blaze are trying to have their cake and eat it at the same time. They're trying to have full site control, but also still go for these post-plant positions where they can really punish Rebels Gaming. And because they're still anchoring these players onto the sites, because not everyone is pulling back, they're looking for the kills, they're looking for the confidence aggro instead. It means when it does come to that post-plant positioning where Supermassive Blaze would be able to clutch it out, they're just lacking that one member, that one little bit of utility. And every single time Rebels Gaming just snuff any hope that this defense has out. But well, if there's one thing that you have to worry about, it is a Jet with a Judge. We've seen the Frenzy meta return. Now we're getting to see that meta. And I don't know about you, but I hated that meta more than I did the Frenzy.
100%. I detested the Judge meta. But
especially in Garage.
Yes. Quite a deadly force to come up against, and it seems like the Garage position will be taking once again here from Izzy. But as we find ourselves into the next round, SMB have a heavy lifting to do. Need to hold this down from the start. Already traded back. Zistu switches his attention to both corners and takes two apart. Brave aggresses forwards as well. This is more like it from SMB. That's a confidence booster, and now are back in the game.
See, they don't play for retake, but they also don't just leave one player to their fate on a site. Hands are all around, so the second they do feel that pressure around their neck on the B site, reinforcements are there, and B is notoriously difficult to actually be able to safely take for the attacking side simply because of all of the angles that are there for the defense to control. It's why a lot of the time we do see teams just use it to sort of splinter off onto either the A or the C. And that overconfidence from Rebels, the fact that they are just moving forward and pressing W, is punished accordingly, as this time it's SMB moving forward and pressing W. Massive dust up in mid happening already.
Yeah, that singular alarm bot will let them know of this push, but I don't think they really need it because it's just been spotted themselves. Okay, Lynxy, quick to react to that, means he finds the opener, but Brave wants a piece of this. Okay, a little bit too greedy and gets punished for it. Lynxy making sure his team stays alive throughout this whole endeavor. They still stuck around for that garage control flashpoint, not really getting Izzy out of his position, but this aftershock might out into the open here still. SMB get themselves some kills. But still, this is a damaging endeavor. Spike will be committed to just in time for the Rolling Thunder to knock Vukashu up after shot onto the site. Oh dear. Vukashu gets out away from that. Nanoswarm also somehow his man manages to stay alive when lava is all around.
The look at Gatch.
Oh dear, Vukashu has to hold it down. No, the fault line is perfect. And that means he won't be able to get shut down from the long side. Gatch also comes in from an alternative angle and catches them off guard. Rebels on double digits, shutting down SMB's attempt.
Yeah, the Rolling Thunder just a split second too late to stop that spike from being planted. And then Gatch, unexpected, pops up from window, is able to take out the angle from Link. And Supermassive Blaze, suddenly they don't have the crossfire that they were setting up. They don't have those two players to really try and bait out that remaining presence in Cubby. As again, we're going to be seeing SMB take a timeout as Rebels hit double digits and look to clean up and knock SMB out of VCT.
Oh, that would be crazy. I mean, to be fair, when it comes to expectations, I think if there was any already existing team out of the two, Big and SMB, to get knocked out in this tournament, I think everybody would have said SMB without a doubt in their minds, right? Because Big's losses in the VCT were just very, very close, weren't they? So this just wasn't the case for SMB. They're in a drought right now. They've struggled to find wins.
Well, their economy is struggling. Their mentality has got to be struggling as well. This was their map pick, Pavlos. This was supposed to be when they turned things around.
I'm sorry, that was just a second screen there that was just visible. You just know Mel is in the observing team when you just come across an angle like that. I'm sorry, I just had to mention that. I just said, yeah, Sylvan Mel, give them some love because they're doing a splendid job today.
Oh, look at the buy. It's not a full save. It's not a full eco from SMB. There's two Bulldogs on the field. They're looking for those picks. They're wanting to be able to go at least toe-to-toe with these rifles and still have a ghost of a chance. But Izzy's learned if you press too aggressively out from Suez, you are going to be shot out. Drone's going to be picking you up and... Ooh, doesn't spot out the jet.
Okay, Gatch.
Spot out Cider.
Be careful there. I mean, SMB wanted to overwhelm them there, try to catch them off guard. I think they may be able to get one kill. Oh no, Izzy! Not what you need to recover this endeavor. But it's all too late. It's all in vain. Yeah, it was a small buy. Let's be fair. It wasn't one that would have been easy, but Rebels barely took any damage there. And Izzy at least could have run away with a free kill.
Yeah, pea shooters are what SMB are rocking right now. And it certainly feels like it. Again, they tried to go for that set play. They tried to be like, okay, well, there's definitely not a crossfire of two players waiting. You spotted out one with our drone. Aha, you found our presence in sewers. It was a grand plan all along. But it's just so predictable because every single time Izzy has just pushed too aggressively out from sewers. And even though like Gatch isn't expecting that player to be there, especially because we do see Vikashi just run straight through without checking the angle, you've got a Vandal against a pistol. And Izzy just isn't able to connect the shots. This is a round that's important for Supermassive plays, though. This is why the pea shooters were coming through. The operator's got to find something, but you're about to be overwhelmed.
Aftershock has to funnel them into the open. Still, though, SMB get most of the players out. Izzy onto the back end, of course. Aldrone won't be doing any more spotting out of that. I think Rebels have realized, okay, we're dealing against an operator. We're dealing against rotations. SMB have already been able to bring out players. Let's switch up that idea.
They're also expecting someone to backstab them. It seems as they're even checking all of their angles, including their own spawn. Linksy making sure that no one gets caught out in that flank in mid. Remember, it was Vikashi who tried to do something similar a couple of rounds ago. But SMB, more than happy to just wait around these sites, set up a pincer movement.
Oh.
Cosmic Divide should make a little bit of an opening, especially now you can move forward and chase these players out from Link.
Oh, that is perfect. Hiding between the Cosmic Divide, peeking through Cider, catching him off guard. Okay, it's a trade that goes in favor of SMB here because they already have the numbers and they've already got site control. Gatch looks to regress here. The blades go wide and Gatch has just brought his team back in.
30 seconds left.
This is incredible. The Spike can now head towards the site. It's a 2-on-2 endeavor from the shadows also to keep them busy towards that long position.
Spike planted.
This is going to be an interesting one. Two very different angles, Moxie.
No paranoia. Brave is not going to be able to send the smoke spiraling out.
They've got no clue where he's coming from. Linksy pushes up towards window as well. Slowly moving across. Catch, check your right. Reaction. Finds it. Cider as well. Comes in. It's all down to Gatch. They know where he is. He has to move out of there to at least isolate them, but will not be able to do so. Cider opened things up there, and it just becomes simple after that fact. Supermassive Blaze hold on and kept themselves an 8th.
I think Cider actually thought about using the ultimate in that situation. But they managed to pick up the operator as well from their fallen comrade. In Supermassive Blaze, they stay alive. 3 rounds. They can definitely find that momentum to keep going, claw their way up into double digits. Operator still going to be on the board. And Rebels Gaming, now they know that the operator is going to be there. Now they have to clear these angles, but they also have to commit a lot of that smoke utility. And because they picked the Astra over the Omen, that really punishes early investment of those nebulas. You can't just use 4 of them in a round anymore. You're lucky if you can scrape 2.
Oh, this is really crunch time. Because SMB are actually starting to approach, get a little bit closer to that score. And Rebels, you know, and the fact that they're 2 rounds away, they can smell this victory. They can smell the next part of that bracket.
Well, they can't smell it. I don't think the up smells, but they can definitely hear it. They know it's on B.
Fair enough. Fair enough. That would be an interesting mechanic, though.
Full immersion. Valorant VR experience.
Yeah, literal virtual reality. Okay, fault line to maybe clear out one of his corners. That bot will perfectly spot out the movement from short. Gianni aggresses. Masashi holds on though. The rest of SMB look to push forwards. Oh, Izzy has to back away from that, respecting the space demanded by Rebel. Spike goes down. It's a 4v5 for the retake.
Izzy's trying to keep an angle with that operator, but Vukashi's got the lockdown.
Oh dear.
Have to use it to just try and bait out where Rebels, SMB rather, are going to be playing.
They just used the aftershock. Oh, just waiting for the aftershock. Maybe the commitment of the lockdown can happen. No, that was the wrong aftershock. That was the zone of his teammates, and that confuses him, just like it did to me. And now the lockdown is no more. A 2 versus 3. Gas to the side. 2 kills for him. Rebels hold on, but Izzy hasn't had enough of it just yet. Deals with a bot, 20 points of health, playing the lot of angle, has to run out of time here, touches it once more, looks to go for the kill, but Vakasha deals with them. Rebels on map and series points. What a tremendously close round.
Oh, SMB, again, it slips through their fingers. The lockdown comes through, and Cider does not use the Hunter's Fury to destroy it.
Placing alarm bot.
Supermassive plays. We're going to get to see the replay because, yeah, that really was a confusing round. But the lockdown comes in, you're like, okay, rolling thunder to destroy it. No, wait, that was out. Push forward. We move on to the site, but what it did do was it lengthened out the fight too. So Izzy had no hope of trying to take that fight, had to go for the defuse. Mystery's going to be there for Cider this time though. But SMB have to know how important it is that this ultimate finds value. There's a reason why Cider is being a little bit further away from contact, just peeking in and then ducking out the second the Rolling Thunder comes through, because you've got the Hunter's Fury. This is the thing that your team are banking on. This is the win condition to find a pick and delay that spike from going down. But they're going to let the plant come through.
Ooh, Hunter's Fury comes in, actually opens things up here, softening up the rest of them to get the kills. Vakashu does hold it down. They've got a crossfire. This is pretty darn good from the Rebels side. They're dealing with this very, very nicely because now they know where everyone's coming from. Don't check this corner. Aldron doesn't clear it in time and now goes for the swings. Istru deals with them quickly, but it's still a 3-on-3. There's still time to buy here. Brave, as soon as that Nebula deteriorates, will go for the push, but Vakasha catches him off guard. Gatch lines them up. SMB, it's been a 6-match losing streak that has just turned to 7. You're out. No more contestation for VCT.